What's going on, guys, and welcome to The Loaf. We just actually recorded this whole episode, and somehow the whole beginning of this episode got all messed up. So I'm re-recording just the beginning for you guys because today we actually have some interesting stuff that we're going to be talking about. That includes some MLB gambling, how Kick Stream is still alive and kicking, and also a little bit about the podcast here, The Loaf. Normally, we're going to have Matt. Matt's taking care of some family business, and Parker just moved into a new house, so he has no internet. So take this as a pilot one. We'll fade this in to the next line where we talk about basically Pete Alonso, Marcano, I think that's his name there. All sports betting, gambling, they're all being investigated. So let's hop into that. It's on the list as far as getting investigated by MLB. Pete Alonso, and there's one other guy. Apparently, there was like 4 names that they've been trying to keep secret, but I think Pete Alonso is one of them, and one of the other stars over there. Can't remember his name right now, but I think he might be getting investigated as well. It's all interesting stuff because technically, if you're betting on your team to win, right? I mean, you need to win the game to make the money, but I guess that's where it kind of gets forged. People on the other team can definitely just blow it. You know, like they could just lose it for them on purpose, take a little bit of cut. I don't know. It's all kind of a weird situation going on in MLB right now, especially because they're keeping names under wraps, which is just interesting to me. It almost seems like if you're a big time player, you kind of have like a pass almost in a sense, which is kind of interesting. I don't know how they're gonna do this. And lifetime bans. I mean, I guess that's something to talk about too. Do you think everyone should be lifetime banned? I don't know. I think it just comes down to the situation. Obviously, they crack down on this a lot. PED uses, right? You don't get lifetime ban from that. You get suspended. So betting is betting is worse than taking performance enhancing drugs. I don't know. That also seems to be a little crazy, especially because nowadays they do player props and all that good stuff too. I don't think either one. I don't think a player should have to be betting. They're making millions of dollars anyways. Or maybe they could bet on sports, not their own sport. You know, maybe it's like, for example, if you're a baseball player, you could bet on football, and a football player can bet on baseball. But I could also see how that might be conflicting too, because if you could definitely throw things in betting. You don't want to have any problems with rigging or anything like that. That's probably why this is such a big ban. I mean, you think about it. If you got into somebody and they started rigging the game, and then I guess the whole reputation of the league kind of goes down with it. It's like boxing. Everyone thinks boxing's rigged, or everyone thinks the UFC's rigged. I guess that MLB doesn't even want to deal with that kind of part. Speaking of boxing, what was it? UFC 302. Was Saturday night, and shout out to Sean Strickland. He won. He got that decision, and I think Poirier won. I might not be saying that right. I think Poirier won, but shout out to both of them. I know they're always on that grind. That's for sure. There was also a bunch of fights in the crowd, which I'm sure is always typical. But this dude got like knocked out, and then fell like 3 rows in front of him, which is nuts. They were talking smack to each other. The dude hit him in the jaw, and he rolled down. I saw the video over on X Twitter, and man, I don't know. That one guy was hyped, dude. He must have been drunk. That's for sure. Definitely was drunk, and yeah, he took a tumble, man. He took a tumble down them stairs. Now hopping on over to streaming, everyone said that Kick was falling off. Right, Kick was falling off. People, like, their decisions of who was staying and who was getting banned with Neon and all those guys. And I think I always forget his name. I think it's Vitali, I think it is. He recently got banned from Kick because of an incident that happened with he was catching predators basically on his account, and he caught one that's pretty big, and now he's, I think, still banned on Kick. I might be wrong about that. I'll have to double check that. But Kick is not falling off because they just came out with their May 2024 viewership stats, and they hit a 1.02 million peak viewership, 183.8 million hours watched, 192.4K, so 1,000 peak channels, which is up 25%, which I find kind of interesting. I know a lot of people talk about view botting and all that jazz on Kick. I wonder if that is influxing these stats, which would obviously make sense why there's so many hours watched and peak viewership is up. I don't know. The co-owner of Kick came out saying, he actually tweeted, Kick fell off, and that sparked me to be a little bit interested in that. Vitali, by the way, is not suspended from Kick or banned. He's actually at DreamHack and representing Kick, so I'm going to say that he did not get banned. Also, Amaranth got gifted a car. It was like a G-Wagon, which is nuts. I mean, I'm sure she brought up tons of viewership over to Kick, but geez, they giving out G-Wagons up in there? That's crazy. Well, say the least, I guess Kick's not falling off, and I don't think Twitch is also falling off either. I heard Twitch fired a bunch of people on their, it was like the security thing or the moderators that take care of who's getting or what content's getting banned and all that. I heard that they literally fired the entire staff. So they're going to restaff that, and that's just absolutely nuts to me that Twitch is such a big company owned by Amazon, backed by all this money, and they are constantly just getting obliterated on social media for the decisions that they're making. You got to think the guy that owns, or is not owns, but is the CEO or the president, whatever he wants to be called, you got to think that it has to come to him at this point. I mean, I don't understand why Amazon isn't really stepping in. I realize that maybe they're just they're just like the owners in it. But it seems to me that someone needs to make bigger decisions quicker for Twitch to be successful nowadays. Because if they're not, I mean, they're still getting the viewership. Don't get me wrong, guys. They're still getting the viewership. We went back to Twitch after LiveSpace closed because Amazon raised their server prices, which I loved LiveSpace. But it seems to me that Twitch will always be around, and I think they know that when they're making these decisions because they know people are going to come back. They know people are going to come back and watch other streamers, make accounts, stream themselves. Twitch definitely has the viewership lock a lot better than other platforms. For example, like when you're watching someone on Twitch, they have like the Twitch points that they can redeem for cool stuff. It's fully customizable by the streamer. Where Kick and stuff still doesn't have that, but they're definitely pulling more and more people on, on their profile or their streaming platform. Jeez, couldn't think of the word there. It just seems to me that Twitch knows what they got is a very good foundation, and they know that people are going to be coming back. So why make these super hard decisions on the spot and not really worried about the repercussions of it? I mean, they're going to get the viewership either way, I guess, how they see it. There's been a viral game that came out. This game is called Hypercharged Unboxed, and I think it's only on Xbox. But basically, there was a game called Sarge something way back in the day where it was like toy, it was like the little army figures, and you fought each other and stuff. Well, Xbox, I think, revitalized that, brought it back, and now have a hit game where there's over 40,000 copies sold in the first 4 days. In the first 4 days, 40,000 copies sold on a game that wasn't even like super. I think I might have saw something a long time ago that something like this was coming out. One thing that's kind of interesting is that I don't know who the developer is, but do you guys remember that game called Splitgate that was out? Super popular, like kind of like took over the internet. They got a bunch of investors, and then it just basically crashed and died. There might be still people playing that game. I like the game, but I noticed that some of the hit markers and some of the guns look almost the exact same as the ones that were in Splitgate. So go check it out, guys. It's called Hypercharged Unboxed Launch, or Hypercharged Unboxed. Sergeant Max Ammo to defeat Major Evil and save the Hypercore. So it's kind of interesting. I think it's a PvP game, FPS for sure. It looks like it has pretty much all cross-platform optimized for Xbox X and S, Xbox achievements, 60 plus FPS. Pretty interesting stuff. We're about halfway through our stream here, and I just wanted to shout out. Actually, the first sponsor of our channel is going to be my company. I know that's kind of crazy to do, but dude, we're plugging it. So my company is called Dusk Auto Supply. Make sure you guys go check it out. Go check out duskautosupply.com. And we have quick detailer. We have a sealant spray, and we also have a wash and wax called Bubbles, which is a pretty awesome product. It smells really good. It smells like cherries. It's super thick. It's not watered down, guys. We don't do anything with watered down stuff. All of our stuff is super unique and very good for your paint, and it will protect your car the most. Okay, enough with the plug. So the main plan, this is kind of like the pilot episode, guys, with this whole podcast, The Loaf. Yes. Why did we call it The Loaf? I think we should address that. We called it The Loaf, where Matt and I, very late one night, we're like, dude, we need to do a podcast. We talk about this stuff all stream long. We need to do a podcast, and we need to have like a unique name, like something that people would remember. So we're going through all these names. Then I said The Loaf, and I was like, because you're going to get the full stories, right? We're not super professionals. We're not like journalists. And I feel like we see a lot of stuff from the ground up, from people, what they're saying, from the companies themselves, because we're always on Twitter. And we're always looking into stuff like MLB news. Like a lot of our guys that are in our group are all into sports betting, typical, like drinks and whiskeys and stuff like that. So we're going to be talking about a lot about that. But we came up with The Loaf because I feel like we're going to give you guys the perspective from what other people are saying and what the companies are saying. We don't just take, the top headlines from the New York Times and then just tell you about it. We're going to be talking about things that we think are unique. And like I said, this one's going to be streamed about 4 weeks before we even drop an episode. So we're trying to pick like topics that will basically still be relevant in about 4 weeks. We're going to try to record them every Monday and post them out every Wednesday. If you want to be a participant in our podcast, make sure you guys head over to our Discord. That's the Battle Vision Network on Discord. And we got no problem bringing new folks in. Just got to be chill and cool. We're going to screen people. We're not going to just make sure everybody's, able to go to our stream. Most of the time, we're going to try to get one other person, Matt, Parker, and maybe a third person as well. Parker actually lives in the same state of Minnesota as me, so we might even have podcasts where we're together, and I'm not going to be in the Battle Cave over here. I just made that up, by the way. The Battle Cave. I kind of just thought of Batman, and then I was like, Battle Vision? I just said Battle Cave. That sounds kind of legit. I think we need a little sign up there. It says the Battle Cave next to the Loaf Podcast. But yeah, guys, that's kind of what we're going to be going for in this podcast. This one's not super exciting. I know it's just me, but I promise you we got some really good things, planned for the future of this podcast. So make sure you guys go follow us over on YouTube, because that's actually where this is going to be posted, and over on Spotify. I always want to say Shopify because they're so close to each other. I wish just one of them would just buy, Shopify, buy out Spotify. Why not? Then we could just call it one thing. Maybe. I don't know. But I always want to call it that. It also might be going on Apple as well. I just don't know exactly how that's going to all work out. We might use a software called Anchor. If you guys have any questions or any topics we want to go over, make sure you guys just comment in our socials. The main social we're going to be using is Twitter. Battlevision USA is our Twitter, or you can just hit the link in the bio. We do have a bio link now, which is awesome. We're going to have some pretty cool, I don't know, we have some time where we're not going to have any sponsors, obviously, for this, but we do have a lot of affiliations with companies, and we're going to be shouting them out. So if you have a company you want us to shout out, we would love sponsors for this podcast, and obviously we're brand new, so we're not going to pull the viewership like the others, but we are planning on doing this for a long time. But yeah, guys, it's going to be in the long haul. Matt and I really been wanting to do a podcast for a long time, man. And this is going to be the fruition, I think that's how you say that, of what we want and do. Matt is also, I think they just opened a small company called, I think it's called the Slip Club. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe we could do something with them pretty soon as well. They have a big Discord where they're doing, sports betting, talking about it and whatnot. Nothing too crazy, nothing illegal. They're just talking about stuff. I'm not a professional at the stuff that I say, guys. I'm just seeing the stuff that online. So don't take my word for anything. I don't want to be super educated in everything, right? But I want to tell you guys about things that I thought was interesting going on, like the MLB and the whole investigating all these baseball players over some sports betting, because you already know sports betting is growing a lot. Probably coming to the state near you soon, like very soon. And I think the MLB is noticing that because there's so many apps now. I'm almost interested on how they're getting caught. I know we just did a full circle back to this, but I want to know how they're actually getting caught. Like, does MLB actually have like access to their, do they have access to their bank accounts? Like, how do they even know? Or did they like set them up in a trap where they like it was a fake bet and all of a sudden it hit or didn't hit, or it was an obvious like they threw the game? Like, I don't know, guys. I don't know how they're doing it. And I guess the investigation would be fairly simple. Look at their bank accounts and see where they're putting their money into, or maybe who they're talking to. Because I'm assuming they're not just going to sign up and make an account and start betting. You'd be kind of stupid if you did that. And this guy, Marcano, has been sitting on the bench for some time, so maybe he's a little bored. I don't know. We'll probably have to get Rico in here and talk about some sports betting because he is all over that. He's actually he brought this to my attention today. And the article I was reading said that there was like 4 other people that there's no names yet. But interesting, nonetheless, guys. I think we're going to probably come down to an end on this little pilot episode. Thank you guys for coming in. If you have, like I said, we have a lot of cool things made for the future, or plans for the future, and hopefully some good collabs and good conversation, because that's the whole point of this, is to just have good conversation and talk about what's relevant going on. So, guys, make sure you guys go follow The Loaf over on YouTube, a.k.a. it's on the Battle Vision Battle Vision Gaming's YouTube. That's where you'll find The Loaf. And yes, we're going to be coming out the logo pretty soon. If anybody wants to make a logo for us, that'd be great. Be kind of cool. Also, if you want to be in it, got to go to Discord. But all right, guys. Well, thank you for all coming in. This is episode 1, a.k.a. the pilot episode for The Loaf. We need an intro and outro as well. If you want to be involved in that, let us know. And if you're a company, we're always looking for sponsors. Peace out, guys. Have a great rest of your day. I don't know when you're going to be listening to this, in the morning, in the afternoon. We spit some facts today. Hopefully you take that into account. I don't know. But thank you guys so much. Have a great night. And we'll catch you guys all on the episode 2 of The Loaf.